Hey everyone, and welcome. So, if you're just starting out, learning how to code for pacemakers and defibrillators can feel, well, a little overwhelming, right? But here's the secret I want you to remember. This isn't about memorizing thousands of codes. It's really about understanding the logic, the why behind the numbers. And today, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to deconstruct that logic, piece by piece. Let's dive in. So, here's our game plan for today. First, we're going to start with the absolute basics, the core building blocks of any system. Then we'll see how those parts come together to create different pacemakers and ICDs. After that, we'll jump into the codes for putting in, taking out, and fixing all that hardware. And finally, we'll wrap it all up with some of the most critical coding rules you absolutely have to know to get it. All right, let's start at square one. Every single pacemaker or defibrillator system, I don't care how complicated it looks, is built from two fundamental parts. Seriously, if you can get your head around these two components, you've already won half the battle.
First up, we've got the pulse generator. The easiest way to think of this is as the device's battery and its brain, all rolled into one tidy package. This is the smart part. It's got the power, it's got the electronics, and it's usually just tucked away in a little pocket right under the skin.
And our second piece of the puzzle, the electrode lead, or sometimes leads. Think of these as the information highway. They're basically the wires that run from that generator, that brain, directly into the heart muscle. And they do a two-way job. They deliver the electrical jolt when it's needed, but they also listen, sensing the heart's own activity and reporting back. Okay, so we have our two building blocks, the generator and the leads. Pretty simple, right? Now let's look at how they actually assemble into the different kinds of systems that you're going to be coding for. Now, this is where the logic really starts to click into place. It's actually incredibly straightforward. The name of the pacemaker system tells you exactly how many leads are involved. A single chamber system? It's got one lead. A dual chamber system? Yep, two leads. And a biventricular system? You guessed it, 3 leads. The code you end up choosing is going to directly reflect how simple that progression is. And speaking of that third lead in a biventricular system, here is a super important detail. The procedure to place that left ventricular lead, well, it isn't bundled into the main insertion code. You actually have to report it separately with either code 33224 or 33225. This is a huge trip up for new coders, so you're definitely going to want to highlight this one. Okay, let's switch gears for a second to implantable defibrillators, or ICDs. Now, they also use generators and leads, but what they do is different. And as a coder, you've got to know which is which. A transvenous ICD is kind of the whole shebang. It can pace, it can cardiovert, and it can defibrillate. But a subcutaneous ICD, or SICD, has absolutely no pacing ability. And then the substernal one can do some pacing, but not the chronic, everyday kind. Recognizing these differences is everything when it comes to picking the right code. And just when you think you've got all the parts figured out, technology throws us a curveball. Meet the leadless pacemaker. This thing combines the generator and the electrode into one single, tiny unit that gets implanted right inside the heart. For this little guy, when it's put in the right ventricle, the code is 33274. It's a perfect example of how those fundamental components can be totally reimagined. All right, we know the parts, we know the systems, let's talk about the procedures. This next part is all about the device lifecycle, the codes for putting hardware in, taking it out, and swapping it for something new. The key here really is to pay super close attention to the action words in the doctor's report. Okay, listen up, because this is probably one of the most important distinctions for any new coder. Removal means a component is taken out, and that's the end of the story. But replacement means an old part is taken out and a new one is put in, all in the same session. So here's the takeaway. Replacement codes already include the removal. You don't code for them separately. Got it? And check this out. This perfectly illustrates that component logic we were talking about earlier. When you're coding a generator replacement, the code you choose is determined by how many leads the old generator was hooked up to. Was it a single, dual, or multiple lead system? The documentation will spell it out for you, and that info points you directly to the right code. You know, sometimes a patient doesn't just get a new battery. They get a full-on system upgrade. The classic example is going from a single chamber to a dual chamber pacemaker. For this specific scenario, there's a special all-in-one bundled code, 33214. It covers everything, taking out the old generator, putting in a new one, and inserting that brand new second lead. It's a combo deal. Of course, not every procedure is a major overhaul or a full replacement. Sometimes, things just need a little tune-up. This section is all about the codes for that kind of maintenance and those quick fixes, like when a lead moves or the generator pocket needs a little work. Here's another one of those key differences you have to watch out for. If a surgeon just cleans up or revises the existing skin pocket where the generator lives, that work is considered part of the main procedure. You don't code it separately. But if they have to create an entirely new pocket in a totally different spot, that's a relocation, and you absolutely do report that separately with code 33222 or 33223. So what happens if a lead just kind of wiggles out of place? Well, you don't replace the whole thing, you just reposition it. And the codes for this are super specific to the type of lead being put back where it belongs. 33215 is for your standard pacemaker lead, 33226 is for that special left ventricular lead we talked about, and 33273 is for a subcutaneous ICD lead.
We've built the systems, we've managed their life cycle. Now for the final and maybe most important part, the rules of the road. Getting these rules down will help you sidestep some of the most common and costly coding errors out there. Let's talk about what's included in the price of admission, so to speak. A lot of common procedures done during an implant are already bundled into the main code. This is a big one. You cannot bill for them separately. Things like fluoroscopy for guidance, using an ultrasound to find the vein, or doing a standard device track on the day of the procedure. It's all considered part of the main package deal.
Well, that brings up a pretty important question, doesn't it? With all that stuff bundled into the main code, is there anything significant that you actually can report separately during an ICD insertion? And the answer is a big yes. It's called defibrillation threshold testing, or DFT. This is basically when the doctor tests the ICD to make 100% sure it can deliver an effective shock. When this is done during a transvenous ICD insertion, and that word is key, you can report it separately using code 93640 or 93641. But, and this is a huge but, so listen closely, there is a major exception to that rule. DFI is not separately billable when it's done during a subcutaneous ICD insertion. See how this goes right back to understanding the different system types we saw earlier? It's a perfect example of how knowing the hardware you're dealing with directly impacts the final codes you choose. And that brings us right to our final thought for today. The technology in this field is changing all the time, but no matter what new device comes along, the fundamental principle is always going to be the same. If you can identify the components, understand what they do, and figure out what action is being performed on them, you will always have the logic you need to find the right code.